Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by UGears. Give the gift of fully functioning wooden mechanical models to inspire, educate and entertain your loved ones this holiday season. And by Energy Sage. Visit the link in the description to find local, verified solar installers and community solar projects in your area that will help you power your home and your car with clean, green, renewable energy. Welcome back to TEN or Transport Evolved News. Last week, I upset some of you by alluding to news I didn't want to mention, so this week, I'll just ask a question of our American audience. Have you voted yet? The New York legislature has passed America's first statewide right-to-repair bill, a bill which could open the floodgates for other right-to-repair legislation around the world. While it's not been signed into law by Governor Hochul yet, local news outlets report it hasn't even arrived on her desk yet, this legislation will make it far easier for customers to fix or have their electronic gadgets and their cars fixed by third-party independent specialists. The bill obliges companies to publish technical manuals and make spare parts available to those who need them, and it could make it a lot easier for EVs to remain on the road and operational long after they rolled off the production line. However, while the bill has made it through the legislature, opponents of right to repair, often large corporations, argue that laws like this violate established federal law, namely various copyright acts. Mercedes-Benz has officially priced its EQE mid-size electric sedan for the US, releasing official specs at the same time. Built on the EVA2 platform, the EQE is due to launch in the next few weeks, with Mercedes-Benz offering 3 different powertrains with 3 different trim levels each. The entry-level EQE 350 Plus Premium starts from $74,900 before fees, with a 90.6 kilowatt-hour battery pack offering an EPA-approved 305 miles, 490 kilometers of range per charge. Opt for the range-topping EQE 500 4MATIC sedan Pinnacle, and you'll need upwards of $91,500. If you are spending that amount on a luxury car, you don't really need federal tax incentives, which is good because the EQE is ineligible for them anyway. As we've covered on this channel several times before, the path to fully autonomous vehicles operating on our roads is strewn with metaphorical roadblocks and red tape. Tesla has been dealing with its fair share of that lately, with the California Department of Motor Vehicles and Tesla engaged for months in discussions over the deployment and operation of full self-driving beta in customers' cars within the state, which, according to Bloomberg, resulted in Tesla giving a demo of the system to the California DMV last week. Using a Freedom of Information request, the outlet reports that Tesla had tried to exclude some outside advisors to the DMV, alleging that they had a bias against it and its system. One of those outside advisors had called the term self-driving, quote, very damaging, end quote, while another had called for Tesla to follow the same autonomous vehicle test rules as other companies. Škoda has officially revealed its latest all-electric vehicle in the form of the Škoda Enyaq RS IV, a high-performance wagon sibling to the Enyaq Coupe RS IV. Built on Volkswagen's MEB platform, the Enyaq RS IV features a twin-motor all-wheel drive setup with a total power output of 220 kilowatts. That's about the same as the Volkswagen ID.4 all-wheel drive. 135 kilowatt DC quick charging is standard, as is 11 kilowatt three-phase onboard AC charging and an 82 kilowatt-hour battery pack offering a claimed 500 kilometers, 310 miles of range on the WLTP test cycle. This is yet another forbidden car for those of us in North America, and while it's not sports car fast, the sprint time is just under 6.5 seconds, I think this is one that will sell very well in Europe if it is priced right. Earlier this year, we told you that Ford had reached out to its dealerships and told them they had until the end of October to decide if they wanted to opt into Ford's official EV dealership program. In addition to gaining official certified status as an EV specialist, the program would have required dealerships to spend upwards of $1.2 million for the privilege, ensuring that they had all of the necessary servicing and charging equipment required by Ford. This week, Ford confirmed that it had extended that deadline to December 2nd, declining to comment on how many dealerships have signed up thus far. While this will be a good barometer to see how Ford dealerships feel about EVs, those who don't sign up will only be able to sell and service Ford's internal combustion engine and hybrid engined vehicles, although I should note that Ford will give dealerships another chance to sign up in about 4 years. The Tesla Cybertruck is, I think it's fair to say, the most highly anticipated vehicle that Tesla has ever made, and exactly when it will roll off the production line has been the topic of great discussion this week. On Tuesday, Reuters cited insiders at the company who claim that Tesla will not start mass-producing the Cybertruck for more than a year. While Tesla had been promising early production will start in the middle of next year, there's been no real firm commitments about high-volume production, which does give some credence to this report. However, it is also important to note that most new vehicle production lines take a while to get going, with anywhere from 6 months to a year being a fairly standard wait time between initial production and high-volume production. Given this will be an entirely new line at Tesla's Gigafactory in Texas, I don't think that this report is unexpected. Modern electric cars have some pretty amazing technology in them, including the ability to remotely authorize payment at some charging stations thanks to things like plug and charge. But are our electric cars and the charging stations we use to charge them secure? That was the question last week when the US government held a cybersecurity executive forum on EV charging infrastructure. Hosted by the Office of the National Cyber Director, ONCD for short, the forum focused on examining the current cybersecurity threats that exist, how to mitigate them, and how to ensure best practices are carried out moving forwards. While we don't know the exact specifics of what was discussed for obvious reasons, we can hope that the security of payment information was also touched on. Moving forwards, I think we can expect more forums like this to take place globally. Since the start of production last year, Rivian has gradually ramped up its R1T and R1S production and delivery figures. Those who have taken delivery thus far are customers who opted to get the large battery pack, a 135 kilowatt-hour pack that gives the R1T quad motor around 314 miles, 505 kilometers on the EPA test cycle. But those who wanted the max pack, an even larger battery capable of storing 180 kilowatt hours of energy, have been in a bit of a holding pattern to get theirs, and this week Rivian reached out to max pack reservation holders to tell them that the wait isn't over yet. We've heard reports that some customers are being told they'll see their trucks in mid-2023, while others are being told it'll be 2024 before theirs is ready. Here in the US, demand for the humble minivan is a fraction of what it once was, with many former minivan customers opting instead for pretty sizable SUVs. But that's not true in other parts of the world. This week, Chinese premium automaker Zeekr, which is owned by Geely, the same automotive giant that owns Volvo, Polestar, Lotus and many others, unveiled a full-size electric minivan that shows, in China at least, demand is still strong. Called the Zeekr 009, the electric minivan is packed full of technology and was designed in Gothenburg, Sweden by a team led by former Audi designer Stefan Silaf. Aimed squarely at the upper middle class customer, the Zeekr 009 has a claimed range of up to 510 miles, 822 kilometers on the Chinese test cycle, but we'd take that figure with a pinch of salt. It's official. After months of negotiations and countless meetings, the European Union has finally reached a deal to ban the sale of all new internal combustion engine cars. Coming into effect in 2035, the ban was sealed by agreement on Thursday night, with car makers required to reduce the emissions of new cars sold by 55% compared to 2021 levels by 2030, followed then by a 100% cut in emissions 5 years later. While there's still some formalities to be carried out, the Parliament and Member States must formally approve it before it becomes law. All negotiators seem happy with the deal as it stands. One of the concessions reached, though, is a pretty big loophole. Automakers who make less than 10,000 cars per year will not be required to cut their emissions. So Ferrari, Lamborghini et al. Can carry on making gas-guzzling supercars. I'm going to be bringing you our shorts in a moment, but first, a word from today's video sponsors, UGears. UGears combines everything you remember from the engineering toys you may have played with as a child with the beauty of wooden parts, the accuracy of laser-cut pieces, and the joy of ingenious, fully functioning mechanical models. UGears offers a wide range of beautiful, fully functional 3D models that you can assemble yourself at home with no prior experience, with clear, easy-to-follow instructions right there in the accompanying beautifully made assembly book. There's no glue needed to assemble the parts, and you get everything you need inside the box to make your own model, ranging from simple creations suitable for ages 5 and up, all the way through to incredibly detailed engineering models. And the plywood used meets all international safety standards. There's something for everyone, ranging from working clocks through to musical instruments, and my favourite this year, the pickup lumberjack, which is based on the iconic Chevy 3100. We've teamed up with UGears, and we would love you to check out its website, where you'll find a whole host of amazing, realistic mechanical models and kinetic sculptures. Right now, shipping on all orders of $50 or above is free, and if you buy one of UGears' amazing kits, you'll not only be getting a great gift, but you will be supporting a Ukrainian business that has managed to keep creating and inspiring throughout the illegal Russian invasion. Prices start from just $10 and work all the way up from there, so check out the link below to pick up yours. Full disclaimer, we are working on a commission, so if you do follow the link, we will get a little bit of a reward. And now it is time for shorts. Following the announcement that British national trials testing e-scooter use will be extended, Transport for London and London councils have confirmed they too will be extending London's rental e-scooter trial programme. Previously, e-scooters were not road legal in the UK. It was SEMA this week, and Nissan had 2 electric vehicles on display there. The first was a custom-built restomod Nissan Leaf-powered sunny truck that looks amazing, but the second was a custom-made Nissan Ariya surf wagon concept that just hurts the eyes. The Highland Council Climate Change Committee in Scotland is considering a price change to council-owned rapid charging stations that could make some of them the most expensive EV charging stations in the country. Prices could reach 86 pence per kilowatt hour. Hyundai has selected its Slovak production facility, otherwise known as Kia Autoland Slovakia, as home for its European EV production push. The company says it will mass-produce battery electric vehicles for the European market there from 2025. Canadian-based electric vehicle company Lion Electric has officially celebrated the production of its first US-made electric vehicle at a brand new facility in Illinois. While the company had previously made all vehicles in Canada, it now has 2 production facilities. Like Nissan, Ford was represented at SEMA this week with a selection of electric vehicles on display. They included the Mustang Mach-E True Mustang Persona, a full body kit wearing Mach-E GT, and not one, but 2 Ford F-150 Lightnings, one lifted and one slammed. Transport for London has announced that it will be introducing 20 new, fully electric tram buses on several routes in London. Why are they called tram buses? Well, they're electric buses that make use of overhead charging at stops to recharge in just 5 minutes. The Ram Revolution BEV concept, a vehicle previewing an all-electric Ram pickup, will now debut not at the LA Auto Show, but at CES 2023. Ram executives say it will push past the competition in terms of range, towing, payload, and charge time. After just 1 month of active pre-production verification at its UK microfactory, UK-based electric commercial vehicle company Arrival has confirmed it will shift its primary production to North Carolina, USA. Healthy US tax credits and the UK's poor economic outlook caused the shift. The Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, or PIF, has confirmed this week that it will be launching its own electric vehicle brand called SEA. Produced in collaboration with Foxconn and BMW, SEA says it will deliver vehicles in 2025. Yeah, right. Volkswagen was also at SEMA this week, showing off 3 electric vehicles, the ID.4 that competed in the Rebelle Rally, as well as an ID.4 retrofitted for quote-unquote drone command. It also showcased some of its in-house accessories for the ID.4. Lucid has announced that it will hold a special global launch event in just under 10 days' time on November 15th, at which it will unveil its take on the luxury SUV. Codenamed Project Gravity, it's expected this model will compete against the Tesla Model X. Speaking this week with Car and Driver, Honda's CEO and head of electrification both confirmed that Honda will not be building electric vehicles with simulated manual transmissions, as Toyota is planning to do. Instead, both said Honda wanted quote-unquote edgy EVs. During September, zero-carbon sources of electricity generation, wind and nuclear energy primarily, accounted for an average of 44% of all electricity generated and consumed in the UK, peaking at a record 78% at 1 p.m. on September 17th. Volvo has confirmed that it will stop producing and selling internal combustion engine cars for Australian customers in 2026, with the brand going all electric there 4 years ahead of its initial goal. Not all Australian states have yet committed to banning the sale of ICE vehicles. Mercedes-Benz has confirmed that it will be expanding its Chinese market recall of certain electric cars produced and sold in China following complaints of motor failures. The expanded recall now includes Chinese market Mercedes-Benz, EQA, EQB, and EQC. UK supermarket chain Tesco, which had offered free electric vehicle charging at 100 stores across the UK, in collaboration with PodPoint, has begun to charge customers who wish to charge their cars up while they shop. Rising energy prices are thought to blame. While its former CEO was sentenced this week for fraud, Nikola Motors reported its financial results for the third quarter this week. It posted a net loss of $236.2 million, and while it has delivered trucks, warns that it will miss its annual delivery goals. Einride has officially carried out its first autonomous vehicle tests without a driver in the US, transporting finished goods from GE Appliances facilities in Tennessee. The truck completed its route without any faults. The tests took place over a 2-week period on public roads. Sticking with Einride, the company just revealed its new second-generation vehicle this week, called the Gen 2 Rigid Large. It's capable of carrying a larger amount of cargo, and the vehicle features a refreshed front end and will be deployed at customer sites starting next year. Dodge has teased more information about its upcoming all-electric Charger Daytona SRT Banshee, stating that it will come with 2 E-Stage kits designed to ramp up performance. Like other high-end muscle cars from the brand, it will require special keys to unlock the extra oomph. While we're starting to see a gentle easing to the parts shortage in the automotive world, there's now a new problem to scare car buyers: high interest rates. New data says that the US average new car loan is now at an interest rate of 6.3%, which prices out many consumers. Texan utility company Vistra has announced a new product for its TXU energy brand that will give EV customers free charging during certain periods of the day. It says it will use EV data to make free home charging possible, so think smart grid-activated charging during low-demand periods. Zeekr has confirmed it will introduce its range of premium electric cars to Europe next year, with the Zeekr 001 being the first of its vehicles to be sold to European customers. It's worth noting that the Zeekr 001 shares a platform with several Polestar and Volvo EVs. Canoo has announced that it has chosen Pryor, Oklahoma, as the home for its brand new battery module manufacturing facility. The facility, which will be operated in collaboration with Panasonic, is being renovated now for eventual start of module production next year. 2 classic EV conversion companies, Jaunt Motors from Australia and Zero EV from the UK, have merged to create Felton, a new company that promises to produce drop-in electric vehicle conversion kits for classic cars. Both firms already have extensive conversion portfolios. BMW has officially released its third quarter financials, showing a year-on-year doubling of its electric vehicle sales. The company recorded a record $36.3 billion in revenue and says that EV demand just keeps on soaring as it produces more and more EVs. California's first microgrid community has been launched by KB Home in collaboration with the US Department of Energy, SunPower, the University of California at Irvine, Southern California Edison, Schneider Electric and Kia. Each house comes with a battery backup and on-roof solar. Fisker shared its quarterly earnings this week, and because it hasn't yet produced a single car, it recorded a net loss of $149.3 million. The company says Series Fisker 1 production will begin on November 17th. In recent weeks, we've seen many automakers commit to bringing EV production to the US to take advantage of tax credits, but Subaru confirmed this week it won't be among them. Why? It says it can't compete with the salaries McDonald's pays its staff, which it would have to meet in order to get a workforce. The XPeng G9 electric SUV has been given a Guangzhou Intelligent Connected Vehicle Test Permit, meaning it can successfully begin on-road, fully autonomous vehicle testing. The company says it's the first unmodified commercial vehicle to qualify for the permit. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. It is that time of the show when I show you a little something the team has been working on, and this week we have a belter. I watched Michael work on this during the week, and while I would like to say the walk around and drive will release next week, we've been pretty busy with an editing backlog, but nevertheless, I still think it's worth a share.
Hang on a minute, lads. I've got a great idea.
Regardless of how you feel about him and his policies, it is a well-known fact that the current President of the United States, unlike his predecessor, is a total car guy. And in fact, the President has reminded us of that fact lots of times during his time in office, managing to secure more time behind the wheel of a car than any president I can think of in living memory, because US presidents aren't normally allowed to drive. We've seen the president take a prototype Ford F-150 Lightning for a spin, drive a Hummer EV, and this week, thanks to Jay Leno's garage, drive the Ford F100 Eluminator restomod. Sadly, I cannot share the footage of him driving it because copyright, but the president said 3 things about the F100 Eluminator he drove on a closed course. Namely that 1, it's, quote, quiet as hell, end quote, 2, it goes good, and 3, it has a quicker response than a gas car. Quite. And finally, the first prototype test tunnel built by the Boring Company was a tunnel designed to not only prove the Boring Company could, you know, make tunnels, but also to revolutionise the way we get around cities. But while the Boring Company has gone on to build the Las Vegas tunnel system and has others in the pipeline, Bloomberg reported this week that the original tunnel in Hawthorne, California, about 1 mile in length, starting from the SpaceX parking lot, is no more. Instead, all trace of the tunnel has vanished and, as the Boring Company has moved its headquarters to Texas, there's no need for that tunnel to exist anymore. Thus, SpaceX, whose lot the tunnel was built on, has closed it up. In its place, the expansion of SpaceX's existing parking lot. And no yellow taxis in sight. And on that note, we are done for the day. Before I go, though, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. They have been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967 and firmly believe that the future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make that switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. And if you do become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program set up betwixt the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. So find out more by heading to electricauto.org. And thanks to the lovely folks at UGears. Educate, entertain, and enthrall this holiday season with one of UGears' amazing, fully functional mechanical models. Follow the link below to start your journey today. And finally, thanks to our last video sponsor of the day, Energy Sage. Follow the link below to find out how easy it is to get verified, trustworthy solar experts helping you make the step towards energy self-sufficiency, either with solar on the roof of your home or through a local community solar project. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell for this channel and our second channel, Transport Evolved Take 2. And in addition to becoming a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member, which is a great way of supporting us, you can also tip us through Ko-fi or check out our cool swag store. And if you did like the video today, why not consider leaving us a super thanks? It is easy to do and it all goes towards helping the channel grow. I will be back next week, but before I go, a quick note that the midterms are next week. If you live in America, please make sure that you exercise your democratic right to vote, because democracy only works when we all take voting seriously. And yes, if you haven't yet watched it, go watch my video from Monday on why this year is important. As always, we will be making plenty of content for you to enjoy during the week, and if you like things off the beaten track, go and hop over to Transport Evolved Take 2 tomorrow for our Sunday musing, as well as the regular chicken and garden update, in which I do talk a little bit about my backup system, which is functioning now, so that's kind of fun. We'll also be talking in the Sunday musing about your car telling tales on you. Whatever you enjoy next, I hope your weekend is a great one, and as always, keep evolving.